Thank you for joining me in part 4 of modeling this cutaway hotel booth like you'd see at an airport. I've been using this very cool reference image from the internet, which is available for download through part 1. This is not my image, but I thought it was really cool. I decided I wanted a model from this. It's just for practice modeling, and I don't own any rights to this image. I just thought maybe you'd like to follow along with me. So if you want to do that or just want to watch, that's cool. I'm going to model the chairs now. There's not a lot to them, so let's get at it. I like to model from pieces that I already have in my scene if I can. So I'm going to go into the bottom of the floor here. I'm going to select that face, Shift D, and I'm going to scale it a little bit. Push it back here. Imagine that I'm going to be building a chair out of this. Alright, let's look from the top and hit G and just sort of slide it in. Say there, okay, my chair is going to be there. I'm going to hit P to make it a new object. And let's find that thing and set origin to geometry. So there it is. Alright, let's go into edit mode and think about this chair. Of course, it would slide under there at about that height. Maybe a little higher. Alright, so very close to the back wall, so I think we're in decent shape. What I'm going to do is go into edge selection. You can do that down here and grab that edge and push it in just ever so slightly. And I think we'll scale this in the X just a little bit like that, maybe a bit narrower than the keyboard. I'm going to take this edge here, look from the side. I'm going to hit E to extrude, and I'm going to pull it up. And I'm just going to pull it back. And hope that that's reasonable for my chair. Okay, so with that done, let's come over to the modifier tab and choose Solidify. And I'm going to choose even thickness, and I'm just going to start cranking this up to about the thickness that I would want for my chair. And let's have a look at this one. That's probably pretty close to what we need. Okay, so I'm going to apply that Solidify Modifier. I'm going to edit mode, and I'm going into face selection and grab that bottom face and make the base Shift D and S to scale it down. And let's go Control 7 to look for the bottom, and wireframes. We can actually see the thing. Okay, I'm going to scale that and make it a bit more of a square. It doesn't have to be a perfect square. There's the side view again. E to extrude, and let's push this down. That's a bit, might be a bit wide for what I want, so I'm going to go Control plus and get up to the top of it. I'm going to scale Shift Z to make it a bit narrower. I'm also going to break it out. Am I? No, I'm not. I'm going to just select that face. Can I not get you? There we go. And I'm going to delete that face. I'm going to delete I'm going to take that face. I'm going to use it Shift D. Let's get it out of there. I'm going to use that. So, no, not that. Delete that face. There we go. Alright, let's get out of wireframe and have a look at this. Yeah, that could work. Let's take this and Control L to select linked. Let's just push it up a little bit, make sure it's in there. And I'm going to grab this bottom edge, Shift Alt to click that bottom edge, just bring it down a little bit further. Alright, so that can be one piece there, but that bottom piece I want separately. P, I'm going to make it a new object and set the origin of geometry on that. We're going to take this and we're going to just hit S. We're going to make a base. Now if you look at the image here, all I see is this. There's a little cutaway there, so it's hard to tell what's going on that thing. So let's just, I don't know. I just don't really know what to do with this part, but let's extrude this up a little bit and see what would be like if it touches the ground. Be like there. I was thinking of this. Just simple. Let's select it all in Control and flip those polys. And what if let's Shift H just to focus on that piece itself. If I took those and these, and I just inset ways like that, and then I come back here and I'll take those and I'll Control E, bridge edge loops. I don't know if this thing would ever exist in nature, in real life. I was thinking of that. All right. Not too impressive, but we'll get rid of the bottom faces after. Let's go back into this thing and grab this edge, Shift Alt and click that edge and just make sure it contacts. Okay, with that chair selected, let's Shift Alt and click the desk and Control L and choose modifiers to put that same bevel. I think that's too much. Yeah, definitely too much there. So let's just drag it back to about there. And I actually like that, so I'm going to select this and then this, Control L and choose modifiers, put the same bevel on there. So that's my chair. All right, let's Shift H and grab that, and we'll look from the side and in wireframe, and I can probably just do it this way, I would think. And I'm going to X those faces. So get rid of those. And there we go. Now, is that too wide? No, you're not going to barely see it. I don't even know if you're going to see it at all. So, these both have the same bevel on it, so I could actually just join those together. Oh, did that just knock off part of my bevel? No, it didn't. Okay, so let's do that. Control J, and if I want to, I could probably bring that up even more. Let me just double check that I can, yeah. All right, we'll leave it at, make this 5. Okay. Height okay, yeah, so you sit, maybe your shoulders are there, your head just a little bit above it. Okay, cool. So let's, actually let's push it under a little bit. Shift D. We'll do another, this is going to be pretty balanced and symmetrical. I'm not going to start angling things and all that. Okay, so great. We got chairs. We can sit somewhere. Let's create the stars here. We'll do this stuff here. Okay. I want them centered. So the way I think I'm going to do this, let me have a look here. Yeah. I'm just going to create an edge loop that I'm going to use as a central area for now. And I'm going to go Shift A, Mesh. I'm not sure if I needed that. Circle, but I'm going to switch this to 10. I want 5 points, so I'm going to make that 10 vertices. Rotate X90, and we'll scale it down. We'll bring it back to here. Then that one already is central, so maybe I didn't need to do that. Look from the front and drag it up. Okay, so these stars are kind of behind the chair, obviously, and a little higher, right? So we can look at the positions there and scale that down more. So, like, you know, maybe in that area or something, then the line, and then the whole word hotel. So let's just work on that for the moment. Okay. So Control Tab to bring up my mesh selection mode. Switch to vertex, or I can do it there. And I'm just going to select. Well, I can do this a couple ways. I can either select each other vertex, or I can select it all and come down here, select, check or deselect, and if I leave the defaults, it'll do that for me. I'm going to hit, now, if I hit S and I start pulling them in, I'll get a star with the central point in the bottom. So if I do it by hand, and I do every second one, and I go S to scale, then it's at the top. Alright, so I'm just going to come in a little bit like that. I don't really have any specifics on how to make a star. I'm just going to do that. Okay, and I'm going to go E and S and bring it in and select it all, and Control N to flip any polys if I have to. That's only, I don't think I do. So I'm just going to select that, and I'm just going to hit F, I think, to make a big N-gon there. And look from the side, and I'll extrude back. I'll probably go the wrong way, so I'll extrude back. Okay, I'll do that. And I think I'll actually delete those faces right now. Select it all, Control N if need be. And I've got a star. Let's see how it takes a bevel. Small bevel. Just so we catch a small amount of light. And let's set the origin of geometry. Alright, let's look at this on the front. Okay. So size-wise, we can work on that later. Maybe I could have come in further, but I think it's a star. All right. So yeah, we're in front view, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Control A and apply rotation and scale. I think I rotated it, but we'll just do that. And we'll go to Array, in the X. We'll crank this out a little bit. I don't want 3 of them. And if I go in wireframe, I can use that center line to center these up pretty much. And I'll leave that like that in case I want them further separated or whatever. Now to make that line there that I want centered, I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to grab that. Now actually I think I'll get rid of that central line now. I'll use the stars. So I'm going to dissolve those edges, and I'm going to Shift Alt and click that edge. Shift D, I'll bring it down. And I'm going to make the this line. I just want to see, I want it, you know, be a star's width on each side, or be a star's width and a half, if that makes any sense. So I'll scale this in the X. Let's say it was there. Let's start with that. I'm going to hit E to extrude, and I'm going to pull that up. Let's get the approximate height. That's too much. It's more like that. Let's select not everything, but a piece of that, and Control L and P, and separate that out. Let's see if we can find it. Set origin to geometry. So there's my piece right here. I can adjust the size of that a bit. So let's select it and let's extrude back. E, not too far. Just a little bit like that. And let's delete those faces and select it again, and Control N to flip polys. It's already got a bevel on it. Might be too much. We'll see. Make contact, and it's going to come down more. I think like that. Let's just look at the height of it and the distance. No, you know, looks pretty good. All right. Okay, so now let's Shift S cursor to select it on that item there, and we'll go Control A or Shift A. What did I do? Shift A, yeah, to bring in text. And let's, over here in the text, I don't know, tab, dialog box, whatever. Let's set the horizontal alignment to center, and let's rotate X 90. Scale it. And it's closer to the line than it is to the top. It's not like it's centered, you know, between the line and the top. So it's, you know, somewhere in that area. Let's go into edit mode and type hotel in capital letters. We'll scale an object mode like that. And I might just use that default font for that, which is B font or something. I don't know if that's my default font or Blender's, but I was thinking of doing that. Now, I had this thought. And first of all, I'll just show you, if I do the bevel, well, this is going pretty good actually with this font. It's very blocky. I'll up the resolution a little bit, and it becomes a little rounded, but I'm actually going to be okay with that. Okay, so back to the stars. Do I like the spacing? I think they're okay. And the H to the end of the E. Do that, and I start screwing up the centering. No, there we go. That's what I'm going to go for. Cool. All right. So now we're going for the clocks up here. And I was messing with this earlier, and I realized that, hold on, when I made a circle, I started with 12 vertices, and then I did a subdivision surface. It looked wrong in this context of lots of squares and rectangles and sort of sharp edges. A smooth circle just looked totally wrong. So I think we got to go with this kind of low poly look for that. My 3D cursor is right in the middle, so Shift A, mesh, circle. Let's go for 12. Edit mode, rotate X 90, scale it down. So we are going to need 4 clocks and some text underneath it. The clocks are relatively close to the top. Okay. Like that, a little bit smaller. Well, all this can be changed. All right, so that could be where my first clock goes. And yeah, we're gonna try it like this and see. So I'm gonna go E and S and bring it in, and then I'm just gonna go mesh, faces, grid fill, and just leave it at that. That's gonna be fine. Select it, E, and pull it back, and I might bring it forward and make it a bit thicker. Select it all and Control N to flip polys. Set the origin of geometry on this guy and pull it in and say, Now the problem is when you don't bevel this, you can't, it's hard to see the edge. And so if I try with just a regular bevel, I get this. It's not very pleasant. I could try adjusting. I could use less, even just the smallest amount. So I get this white line there. See, and that catches light. Now, how would it be under one segment? It's not quite smooth enough. I don't think I want smoothing on it. I don't think I want that. Even with auto smooth, no. So I'm going to leave it as flat, and that's going to be how it's going to look. And yeah, it bothers me a little bit. It's just, I don't know. I'm used to seeing it nice and smooth, but we're going to go with that, I think. And I'm just trying to get a sense of the size of this thing. I still think it's too big. Okay, well, I'll just show you. Maybe you can decide with a subdivision surface on it. With a bit of work. You like that better? I mean, you know, if we beveled this edge by hand and just did this and put one a bit sharper, is this better for us? Do we like that a little better? I mean, it's cleaner. You know what? It's not bothering me as much as it was before. Maybe we're going with that. I take it all back. Maybe we are. One thing I would like to do, though, is put an edge loop down here just to sharpen that up. All right, well, fair enough. Either way, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Let's look at it, and Shift S, cursor selected, and we're going to do the tick marks. Okay, so we got at the 12 and the 3 and the 6 and the 9, we got thick ones, and then we got some smaller ones. Okay, so let's just bring in that doesn't matter, plane is fine. Rotate X90, and we'll go ahead and we'll scale it down small and bring it forward. Look from the front, we'll scale it down. And we'll start positioning it up where we want it. Yeah, there's no numbers on this, so just you gotta be able to read it like this. Scale that in the X. Okay, and bring it back. Maybe a little narrower. A bit bigger. Ah. Okay, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to hit E to extrude and pull it back a little bit. Okay, and it's like that. I'm going to go X, faces, delete those faces right away. A to select it all, Control N to flip polys. Set the origin of geometry on this guy, bring him back. Right touch. As soon as I put a bevel on, it's going to go berserk. It's going to be very hard to get any kind of other bevel on this other than, you know, like that, but that's going to be just fine from a distance. Okay, it'll catch a bit of light, and we'll never see all this facetedness. So just want to look and decide that's big enough. I think it's probably going to be okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to spin this. However, I realize I just deleted the back faces, and you're saying to yourself, well, you should delete the back faces. Why have them? Because by deleting the back faces, it often doesn't spin properly. We're going to give it a try. And I've done this in my other videos as well, so let's give it a try. Set the origin of the 3D cursor, go into edit mode, make sure it's selected, and from the tools menu, scroll down until you see spin, and voila, it looks real cool, but it ain't working. Get out of there. Zoom in on this guy, look at him and say, what are you doing to me? Shift Alt and click that and go F, put on face, and you go, you just changed everything. Well, yeah, I did, but I'm not going to keep it like that. Alright, with that face on there, we select it, come over to spin, and it works. Choose 4, 12, 3, 6, 9. W, remove doubles. We will get rid of some doubles. All right, and Control N to flip polys. All right, and it has worked. All right, Shift H to hide everything but this stuff. Go into edit mode and select the faces either individually or select that face, and we want all these other back faces, and go select, similar, normal, X faces, and I got rid of them all at the same time. Alt H, bring it back, and we have our those. We can still move them. Okay, so now we're going to do the smaller tick marks. You're going, they're pretty small as it is. I'm going to go into edit mode, and I'm going to select one of these and Control L to copy it. No, to choose what's linked. Shift D, P to make it a new object. So I should have just that there. Let's set the origin of geometry on that guy, and let's just let's hide those ones, and I just have this, and let's go into edit mode, and let's just have a quick look at the picture. These are really small ones, so let's go S and scale in the Z a little bit more dot-like. Okay, now use the period key to zoom in. Remember, there's no back face, so we darn well better put a back face on this guy. F to make a face. Select it all. I'm going to bring it in so that it touches. Probably want it more. Probably go for that. It is very small though. Yeah, let's set the origin to the 3D cursor now. With that selected, go into edit mode, select it, and let's spin. Spin. I've got 4. I want 12. Okay, but I don't really want 12, do I? I don't want the 12 o'clock position, and I don't want the 3. All right, because I've got those other big ones at that spot. So with this one selected, or if it's not selected, select the piece and Control L. Let's go X faces, vertices, whatever you want. Did I get rid of the whole thing? X vertices. Well, this one there's a copy of, so okay, to select a piece of that, Control L, X vertices at the 6 o'clock position, X vertices, and at the 9. Control L, X vertices. A to select them all, and now go W, remove doubles. Got to do that. Well, I mean, only the doubles were up here, I believe. And Control N to flip any polys. Okay, Alt H to bring back the other guys, and we should have it. Now I think I'm going to bring these ones out a little bit because they are pretty small and they're hard to see. Well, we have to get rid of the backs, don't we? And then I think we're going to get rid of, we're going to make them a bit bigger. Shift H. Okay, we got those. Don't get confused. Find the back side. It's that face. Choose select, similar, normal, X, faces. Go back out, Alt H, and let's have a look. Where are we? There we are. These guys. Of course, they're going to be a different color, so maybe they don't have to do anything too weird in 3D. I'm going to set the origin of geometry, make sure everything's cool with that. Scaling the Y. I seem to be doing it anyhow. Ever so slightly. Alright. So we got that stuff. Okay. Next. The hands. And like maybe a little circular knob there. I'm going to take this edge, Shift D, S. It's got a subdivision on it, eh? Yeah. E, and come out. E and S. Mesh faces, grid fill. So I'm going to leave it like that for now. Didn't have smoothing on. Okay, now that should be completely central. So I could use one of these to build my. Never mind. I'll just do it. I'm bringing a plane, rotate X90, scale it down. Scale this in the X, grab this edge, pull it up. Okay, so it comes close to touching the dot thingamajig, whatever. Let's give this some thickness, but I'm going to come down like that. That thingamajig there. This is, of course, going to need a bevel. Can I just use it's going to be too. Let's just put a new bevel on this. Just leave it like that. And how about Shift D? Bring it down here. Scale in the X. And wireframe, grab this, make it longer. It's at the same level. I think I want this lower. So these might be too thick anyhow. So I'm going to scale these in the Y in object mode. Scale them towards the 3D cursor. Okie doke. So let's just set the origin of geometry on that and on that. And actually I'll just set the origin of geometry on the two of them together, and that'll be a little bit better. I'll do this. I don't need to be too thick. It might be too thick. Just want this one under. But both of them I want a little bit higher above the face of the clock. Okay, so that's my basic clock right there. And my 3D cursor is still right at this thing, and I'm actually going to set the pivot to that. So now I can take this one, and I'm going to make 710. Okay, so I'm going to rotate in the Y to the 7. Okay, roughly. Now is this big enough? Just pointing to the 7. I just need to be closer. I don't know. 7. Rotate Y. 7, 10. If I did want to lengthen these, if you, say wireframe, if you select this and you go, well, how am I going to pull in this direction or that direction? If you switch to normal, you can do that along the normals. So I could do that, and I could do the same with this one. In wireframe, set to normal, and I can lengthen it if I need to. Might as well do it now, so I don't have to do it on all of the individual ones. Okay, that's basically what I'm going to go with. And there should be a little bit of distance there, so we'll catch a bit of a shadow. Alrighty. So let's select all these parts and make it a group. Alright, hang on. This. Okay. Come on, play nice. This. These guys. Oh, for God's sakes. Let's hide that. H from the front. Wireframes. Box select everything. Switch over to global. And by the way, do I have everything? Control G. Double check. I got everything. Alright. Bring them all back. Alright, we got this as a group. So to make it as a group, or to move it, you go Shift G and choose group. And we can duplicate this. But before I do, I want to set this to the position that it's going to go to. Alright, so we're going to get 4 of them. You want to try to array them and break them out? No, I don't think I do. There's the central position. I can go back to median point for now. I think I'm just going to copy them. Shift D. Alright. Now, if I just go Shift G, group, I guess I get them all, don't I? And if I want them individually to move them a bit, I would have to do that. On wireframe, box select, and then I can screw around with that. You know, I mean, I could use some of the grid a bit. I could say, okay, this one is let's make it a little bit just over this edge, and this one's just over that edge, and blah 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 blah. That's good enough. Alt H. All right. We're gonna have our 4 clocks. Okay, so the next one here, this is gonna be 9:10 in Warsaw. So we'll take what we're gonna do is select that central piece right there again, and set that to the no, you have to actually select it and go set origin to geometry, and then Shift S, bring the cursor to there, set the pivot. I'll do it differently on the next time. Okay, this is 9, rotate the Y. This is 9:10. Alright, put it like that. Alright, okay, let's try that again. It's 10:10 in London. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. Select that. Set origin to geometry. Shift S, cursor to selected. Bring the 3D cursor there. I've got my pivot there. This is rotating the Y. This is 10:10 in London. And this one is 5:10 in New York. Select that piece. Shift S, cursor selected. 5:10. Okay, cool. Rotating the Y. Let's get back to about 5:10. There we go. So, hopefully the roundness of those clocks look okay. Versus, what if I take it off and flat? Do you like that better? Nah, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can adjust the position of all those too, obviously. So let's quickly just do this. I'll do the text later. I think I'm going to use shrink wrap to put that on. So just these little boxes here. Then I'll take something we already have. Take this piece, get back to median point, and Shift D, bring it up, scale it in the X, okay, we'll go ahead and start building this. Extrude. Before we get any too far ahead of ourselves, let's just Control L and P, break it out, use this as a separate object, and we can get rid of the back face there. There we go. Faces selected all. I can scale this in the Y just a little bit. It doesn't need to be too thick. And bring it back in. In fact, maybe thinner. So it's got this bevel on it. Let's see if we like that. Front view. One is going to go here. So let's just look at the dimensions. It's pretty close to the edges here. So I would imagine that it pretty much does go like that. So if I look at my arrow here, or my 6, whatever, it's pretty straight on like that. So that's how I'll do this by eye, as opposed to like arraying this. That's close enough. Just the position under the clocks with more space below. So it's possible that if I hide that, I suppose I could make it unselectable as well. If I take all these, I'm just going to bring them up a little bit, and then I'll go Alt H. Oh, I'm not in anything, am I? Okay. All right. Are they contacting? Is everything contacting? Yep. Okay. Well, that gives us that back wall now, with the chairs and the stars and the clocks. Yeah, cool. Okay, so I guess we're going to leave it at that, and in the next video we'll have a go at modeling the luggage, and we're getting close to the end of this little scene. Thanks for watching.